if you were to consume this much of soybean, it is impossible. It's too much. So tofu is convenient in that sense because you don't feel the amount so much, even though if you are, consuming the same weight. And then 20.5 gram of burdock, which contains 0.3 gram of protein. So what is this kind of powder things on top? Kinako Magic, my high protein plant-based lunch strategy. That's something I'm going to talk about today, so stick around. Hi, my name is Hachiaki Takamiya, a 62-year-old biohacker based on Japanese natural health and the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. I shared with you about my breakfast. So I usually have natto salad. Well, actually, natto jacko salad. Jackos are baby sardines. And then soy yogurt muesli. And altogether, it has 36.7 gram of protein. So it is high protein breakfast. And then someone asked me about my lunch and dinner. So what I have for lunch and what I have for dinner. So today I'd like to share with you what I have for lunch. I am calculating based on this number. So 1.6 gram per kilogram of body weight, and I weigh 60 kilograms, and therefore, in my case, I need 96 gram per day. And because I'm 62 years old and I'm physically active, so I require protein more than regular people. So that means if I had 36 gram of protein from my breakfast, I would need somewhere around 30 gram for lunch and 30 gram for dinner, or 35 gram for lunch and 25 gram for dinner, or vice versa, 25 gram from lunch and then 35 gram from dinner. And but still, it is a high amount and difficult to meet this requirement only on a plant-based diet. But with the help of this super ingredient, it became possible. So that's what I'll share with you today. This super Japanese protein-rich ingredient and what I eat for lunch. So please watch the video until the end. Those of you who just discovered this video today, this is the Ikigai Diet channel, which is a health and longevity channel. We usually cover things like diet, exercise, mindset, and sometimes we cover Japanese blue zones because there are several blue zones in Japan other than Okinawa, and we cover from traditional Japanese health method to modern Japanese health trend such as chokatsu. So basically, this is the channel about how to increase health span for people over 50 or 60. So if you're interested, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you. Now, first of all, I'd like to share with you the guideline of the Ikigai diet, which is to practice Mago wa yasashi koku, socio ingredient from these categories. Mago wa yasashi koku means the following. So ma means beans, go means nuts and seeds, wa means seaweeds, ya means vegetables, sa means fish, si means mushrooms, I means tubers, and ko means whole grains, and ku means fruit. So try to source diverse ingredient from each category. So all kinds of beans, not only soybeans, but kidney bean, chickpeas, lentils, and nuts and seeds, almond, cashew, peanuts, and pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, and so on. So try to diversify your ingredient. That is the key because most of them are fiber rich, except fish, they're all fiber rich ingredient. So by choosing a wide variety of ingredient, you can diversify your fiber intake, and then you'd actually need about 30 different kind of fiber a week. So by consuming mango yasashi koku, you can roughly get over 30 different kind of fiber a week. Plus, fermented food. Fermented food are incredible for your gut health. So my recommendation is to consume mango yasashi koku and fermented food. So your breakfast, lunch, and dinner should be designed based on magoya sashikoku and fermented food. Since I had, muesli, yogurt muesli, and natto salad, I had some fermented food for breakfast and lots of, yeah, I had some beans, nuts and seeds, and some vegetables and stuff like that. So my lunch would be something similar but different ingredient. And also, this is my schedule. So on Monday, I don't eat at all. And Tuesday till Friday, I'm mostly on a plant-based diet except fish. Usually I consume some fish on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And now, even on Wednesday and Friday, I consume fish for breakfast because I include jaco, baby sardines, in my natto salad. And on the weekend, I consume some other animal-based food too. So if I talk about lunch during the week, it will be a kind of plant-based lunch. If I, for example, choose one on Wednesday or Friday, that will be a plant-based lunch. But by the way, my lunch changes every day because, depending on the availability of the food, I usually source seasonal ingredients, seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruit, and so on. So depending on the season, it changes, and depending on what I have for dinner, it changes too. As I said, diversity is important to choose a wide variety of ingredient. Therefore, you should change your menu every day. That is my recommendation too. But I'll just give you one example today. So the typical kind of plant-based lunch I have is something like this. So this kind of steamed vegetable dish, fermented brown rice, a pickle dish, and miso soup. So this one is steamed vegetables and mushrooms. So got two categories from Magoya Sashikoku and some other beans. So other than soybeans, because I consumed soybeans for breakfast already. So like chickpeas, in this case, it's a chickpeas. And then, and some pickles. And then this one is a fermented brown rice. And then miso soup. But when I prepared this lunch, I didn't measure the gram. In fact, I hadn't measured the gram for a long time until recently. I mean, even now, I still don't measure every single meal. I don't like to measure. I mean, I'm one of those people who are kind of easygoing, very comfortable, just just choosing what you like to eat without really measuring the grams, and it really complicates your life if you start measuring, and it becomes stressful. So I prefer not to measure. But for the sake of understanding your kind of nutritional value, like and how much protein you're getting from each meal and so on, I mean, it's a good idea to measure at least once so you kind of roughly knows the amount. And I'm just doing that for you to understand it. And that's why I measured my breakfast. So now I'm measuring my lunch. So after measuring it, it became like this. It's slightly bigger portion. Okay, so let's break it down. And this is kosogeme, which means fermented brown rice. So one rice bowl full of kosogeme was about 150 grams. So which has about 6 grams of protein. And miso soup. So I put a lot of tofu in this miso soup. Momen tofu, which is a farm tofu. There are two kinds of tofu, soft one and farm one. So this one is a farm one, which has a higher protein content. And so I'm using 175 grams of momen tofu, which contains about 12.3 grams of protein. Um, 170 gram is quite a big number, but it is possible to consume this much of tofu. If you were to consume this much of soybean, it is impossible. It's too much. So tofu is convenient in that sense because you don't feel the amount so much, even though if you are consuming the same weight. And also it has a miso because the miso soup. And I put 12.5 gram of miso, which contains about 1.5 gram of protein. And kimchi 30 gram, which contains about 0.7 gram of protein. And then, so this is the protein powerhouse, this dish. So I put 100 grams of chickpeas, which is a lot of chickpeas, but it contains 8.8 gram of protein. And then 76.8 gram of broccoli, which contains 2 grams of protein. And then 40.5 gram of onions, which contain 0.4 gram of protein. And then 25 gram of shimeji mushroom, which contains 0.675 gram of protein. And 21 gram of carrot, which contains 0.14 gram of protein. And then 20.5 gram of burdock, which contains 0.3 gram of protein. So what is this kind of powder things on top? So this is the secret ingredient. This is the secret superfood ingredient. And that is Kinako, which is soybean flour or soybean powder. And this has 37 gram of protein per 100 gram, which is very high because most meat and fish contains about 20 gram of protein per 100 gram. So this is way higher than meat and fish, close to Jaco. Jaco contains about 40 gram of protein per 100 gram. So it's close to Jaco, the plant-based version of protein powerhouse. So in this dish, I use 10 gram of kinako, which are 3.7 gram of protein. So all together, it has 36.4 gram of protein. Now, if you feel 100 grams chickpeas too much, you can reduce to 50 gram and you still have 32 gram of protein. So if you are to have 30 gram of protein from lunch and 30 gram from dinner, then this is possible. Just 50 gram of chickpea is possible. In fact, I recommend that more than eating 100 gram of chickpeas. It is a lot of amount. If you eat 100 gram chickpeas or 100 gram of any kind of beans, it's a lot of amount. So this is the problem of the plant-based diet. If you are to consume beans, I mean, for the same amount, you'd feel you're consuming a lot more. 100 gram of meat or 100 gram of fish feels much less than 100 gram of bean, other than tofu. I think tofu is the only, ingredient that you don't feel so much. Um, so yeah, this is the kind of challenge we have. But including kinako, because you can even increase the kinako amount. This is 10 gram, but if you like, you maybe put 20 gram of kinako and reduce the amount of chickpeas and so on. But remember, kinako is soybeans. And I have tofu too. So that's a soybean. Then I had natto for breakfast. So I don't want to consume only soybeans. It's really good to diversify your ingredient, using other beans too. So that's something you need to think about that too. Um, in fact, I am kind of rethinking about my schedule. This, during the week, I practice plant-based, kind of a almost plant-based diet. And the weekend, I eat some animal-based food as well. But maybe this doesn't work with this new protein requirement because I came up with this system when I was calculating my protein for 0.8 gram per kilogram of body weight. So in my case, that was 48 grams per day, which is half the today's amount, so 96 grams. So it was possible. In fact, during the week, I was consuming less than 25 gram. And actually on Tuesday and Thursday, I was consuming 48 grams. But other days, less than 25 gram. And on the weekend, I was consuming over 85 gram protein. But a weekly basis, it was the same as my requirement. But to do that with 96 gram, it becomes very difficult. So maybe it is easier for me to throw some eggs or cheese in here and there. Maybe, to a lunch or to a dinner or somewhere every single day. So instead of sort of dividing, or this is the plant-based day, this is, animal including day, maybe it's a bit of some animal product into, some meals each day. It makes it easier. As long as the ratio is the same, I don't necessarily have to divide the week and the weekend, or this day and that day and so on. I mean, I don't know. I'm still thinking what to do. Or I'm wondering about this, 1.6 gram per kilogram of body weight protein requirement. Maybe this is a little too much because I do feel full a lot. Even if I include some animal-based product, still it's a lot of amount. I mean, I am consuming 3 meals a day, but and I haven't been measuring, so I was happy. But once I started measuring, it becomes kind of difficult to meet the requirement without, eating enough amount. So each meal, gets bigger, and it's very difficult to practice hara hachibunme now, which means, 80%. I mean, to stop eating when you are 80% full. I have to eat until I become full, which is not, I don't know whether it's, a healthy way of doing it. Or you can pick only protein-rich ingredient. That means your diet will be very unbalanced, because the traditional Japanese diet or Mediterranean diet, which are considered to be a healthy diet, a very balanced diet. You have a lot of carbs and vegetables and some protein-rich ingredients too, but not only the protein-rich ingredient. So I don't know if this is, good for us. Really, I started really rethinking about this. I mean, some of you might say, you can always consume protein powder. In fact, a lot of people do that. Many people consume protein powder, and some people still practice intermittent fasting. That means they have only 2 meals a day. So to compensate, they have protein powder. But if you have to rely on protein powder to meet the requirement, is it sustainable? Is it natural? Because our body is an incredible thing, and everything should be designed to be able to survive in the natural kingdom. So if our body cannot function without the high technology of, ability to make supplement and so on, then what the point? What would the wild animals do? What would the ancient people do? Or even the centenarians and blue zone, they didn't consume supplement and they were fine. They were eating only whole food, and they had a sufficient amount of their nutrient. Well, at least, that's what I think. I mean, maybe they didn't. Maybe they were deficient in their nutrient, but then I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me now. If I think about the whole thing, because it's a too much. It's a lot of food to consume to meet this requirement. Or maybe I should think of 1.2 gram per kilogram body weight. In my case, it becomes 72 gram, which is a lot easier to meet. So 96 is too high, but maybe 72 gram is doable. In fact, Simon Hill, the proof podcast, Simon Hill, I think he practices this. He does that 1.2 gram per kilogram of body weight. Maybe this is more doable. But, what do you think? I mean, how do you feel about the protein requirement thing? I mean, which one do you use? Do you Do you have 1.2 gram or 1.6 gram or 2.2 gram or 0.8 gram? And how do you meet your requirement? Like, do you practice plant-based diet, or do you include fish or meat, or how often? Or do you have a animal product in every single meal you have? Or do you rely on protein powder? Please share your situation in the comment section below. But anyway, regardless of that, Kinako will be great for you. It is a protein powerhouse. It contains 37 grams of protein per 100 grams. It's a super versatile ingredient. You can put Kinako into your muesli too, or you can put Kinako into your salad, or just like steamed vegetable dish like I did today. Or you can put that in your soup as well. So there are so many ways to use kinako. Usually in Japan, we use kinako with mochi. We have a kinako mochi. We eat it like this. It's a very popular New Year sweet we have. I had never eaten kinako other than in kinako mochi until recently, but now I discover that this is a protein-rich super ingredient for regular meals. Now, for the details about this protein requirement, whether it's 0.8 or 1.2, 1.6, and so on, please read chapter 4, the ideal fasting to increase health span, and chapter 3, the ideal diet to increase health span in Live Wiser, Not Smarter. Okay, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Again, my name is Sachiaki Takamiya, the author of Live Wiser, Not Smarter. If you like this video, please give me your thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And please leave your comment. Yeah, so please share your situations about protein intake. Thank you. Now, if you want to know more about this kind of debate between 0.8, 1.2, 1.6, and so on, please watch this video.